Okay, so getting back to what Mike was saying, I let you go ahead and hit this about the Rich McKay stand comment. What do you feel about what Mike said on that? And is Rich McKay a good football mind?
Yeah, I seen a comment go past K Styles. I don't know who put the comment in. They were saying that Rich McKay possibly being the next GM
Okay,
or
here you go.
commissioner or whatever the league. Yeah.
Yeah, here you
So
go.
I mean, I always believe in guys that's been around that got experience and that have proven themselves. And Rich McKay is one of those proven guys. Like the Buccaneers have 2 Super Bowls, and he was the architect of the first Super Bowl. Mike talked about it. The Warren Sapps, the John Lynches, all of those guys are the Derek Brooks of the world, Rondé Barber. People forget Warwick Dunn was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer before he was a Falcon. Mike Allstott, like he was responsible for building the architect of building that team, and he was kind of a trailblazer for bringing in a black head coach and Tony Dungy, giving him the opportunity because we all know that team that won the Super Bowl, even though John Gruden eventually won that Super Bowl, that was Tony Dungy's team. We all know that he took Tony Dungy's team pretty much. It was kind of similar to what Steve Kerr did with the Warriors. Everybody know that Mark Jackson he laid the foundation for Steve Kerr to come in and basically, take over and win championships with the Warriors. They were already on their way. If Mark Jackson would have stayed there as a head coach, they would have eventually won championships. So it was a similar thing with Tony Dungy. But Rich McKay, I love Rich McKay. I don't see a reason, why we should be hating on him. Like Mike said, to be honest, in 2016, and we don't want to go back into the Super Bowl talk, but we should have a Super Bowl trophy. Let's just be real. So how I look at it is he's the right hand man to Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank loves him. He's a businessman, and also he's a part of the rules committee. He's pretty much on all the committees in the higher ups in the NFL. So that should just tell you something. If you are part of all these rules committees, you close with the current commissioner. Like this dude is that dude. He was there with the help when we built the new stadium. He's just been great. Like this dude's been in the league. He has experience. So he's definitely not the problem. And I really don't feel like Rich McKay has a huge ego. Like for him to bring in Terry Fontenot, that kind of shows that he doesn't have an ego because he could have easily said when they got rid of TD and Dan Quinn that he was just going to take over. Like, look, I can do this myself.
Yeah.
Just let me be the GM. I'm not hiring nobody. I'm going to run the books. I'm going to do everything because if he was able to facilitate us building that new stadium, $1 billion stadium, he can do the books. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, Terry Fontenot is a first-time GM. So believe it or not, Rich McKay is kind of still overseeing everything that's going on in the front office. Even though Terry Fontenot is running things, Rich McKay, he kind of has to get the okay through Rich McKay. So Rich McKay is kind of working with him to get him to that level. Because as we always say, there's levels to this GM, being a GM. So Rich McKay, to me, is one of the best GMs of all time and one of the best front office guys of all time. So I don't see the problem with why we should be attacking him. At the end of the day, these players, these coaches, we got to just be responsible for their own actions at the end of the day. Rich McKay has given, even when Dan Quinn was here, he gave him enough weapons. We know how potent our offense, we knew how potent our defense, like signing guys like Dwight Freeney, bringing him in 2016 was huge. Mike talked about John Abraham, like guys that are unsung heroes, like Courtney Upshaw that was on that team. Guys like Brooks Reed that was on that team that were kind of like unsung heroes, guys who would bring off the bench that were veteran guys, but they were great pass rushers or great leaders in the locker room. Like Rich McKay understands how to build a winning franchise at the end of the day. Before he went to the Buccaneers, we know how bad the Buccaneers franchise was and organization was. And we know how bad the Falcons organization was. Let's be real. Prior to him coming here,
Yeah.
we know how bad the organization has been. Like, I don't know if you guys got to check it out, but Mike was on Twitter and we had opened up a space where they were just talking about, the hate that we get as Atlanta Falcons, the fans, how much hate we have for the team and how much hate we just have for players, the GMs, all of the different, people in the organization. And pretty much I agree with where Mike is coming from. At the end of the day, Rich McKay, to me, he should be untouchable at this point. And to be honest, with the comment that we seen there, I don't think Rich McKay is going to be with the Falcons much longer. I could really see him being the next commissioner if he wants to. He really can have any position he wants because he has that type of experience. So let's get this man his flowers while he's here. Let's respect him while he's here, because at the end of the day, he showed that he could build a winning team, like the 2016 and even 2017 Falcons. Like everybody talks about the 2016 Falcons. Let's not forget that 2017 team was just as good and could have easily went right back to the Super Bowl. Like we won that the first game against the Rams in the wild card game, and then we played the Eagles, who eventually were the Super Bowl champs, to the wire in the divisional round. We were on the goal line, and the ball went through Julio's hands. We scored a touchdown there. Chances are we go back to the Super Bowl back to back, and chances are we win that Super Bowl. So let's just be real. Rich McKay is not the problem.